And let me share my browser. Alrighty, and Emily, or sorry, yeah, Emily, if you could just kind of also keep track of if people join and let them in.
Yep.
Welcome everyone to the June 24th iteration of the steering committee call. This is the second one of the calendar year. We do this once a quarter. We were bumping up near the end, and again, I was before I started recording, I was kind of apologizing about how the invite was stuck in my draft box. I actually didn't hit send on it until I realized yesterday, oh my God, I didn't hit send. So I was debating, should I do it or not do it? Well, we have no votes to do, so immediate votes, I should say. So I thought I'd just, we'll have the meeting. We may end up a little bit on the short end of the straw here. So we have a quorum. I don't know. We don't have anyone here from the Eclipse Foundation, I don't think. So I think the call still counts. Um, but let's see here. Is anyone here from, let's see, I'm showing it on the screen. Am I missing anybody? Has anybody joined from Primeton, Australia, Oracle, Microsoft Fujitsu, Emerson? I don't think I saw join, or Atlanta. So we have one, two, three, four, five. And we need six.
Yeah.
Have quorum.
I thought we had six.
Well, you and David don't count.
No, I know. IBM,
And me and
iJot,
Roberto.
Payara. Oh, yeah, two. You're right.
So yeah, we'll see if someone joins a little bit late. But we have first on the call. Okay, so sorry, the agenda. Really, there's just three things. The first is the tutorial demo. This is probably going to be the last, demo kind of discussion we'll have with uh, Tarun with the tutorial. I mean, unless he's always welcome to join and give us updates, but because he's pretty much done. We're going to talk a little bit about the MicroProfile 7 release, and then of course MicroProfile Futures. Business and
that day, registering him.
someone's. I'm going to mute Tarun. There we go. I think I got him.
I think it was somebody else.
Oh, was it? Sorry, I thought it was Tarun. Okay. Anyway, we've got the MicroProfile 7 release, so all the ballots were really tied to the MicroProfile 7 release. Let's see. Emily, did you want to discuss anything about... Oh, no, sorry. MicroProfile tutorial first. Tarun, feel free to go ahead, give us status, and if there's anything you wanted to show, we'll set aside maybe 15 to 20 minutes tops.
Sure.
And then let you get back on your merry way, given the time zone you're in. So I'm going to stop
Sure.
sharing.
Okay, I can start sharing now. Okay, I'm sharing in a minute. Yeah. Okay, so I have shared the MicroProfile tutorial screen. Hope you are all able to see this.
Yes, I do see it.
Perfect. Okay, great. So, so yeah, the tutorial content is all checked in and merged as well in the main branch. So we have, this is the tutorial. It's also branded and the Antora site is generated.
Uh-oh, he froze, or is that me that froze?
Tarun froze.
Okay, Tarun froze. All right, let's chat with him. Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna have to punt out and come back in. Yeah, I think a lot of us have seen this. I was kind of hoping there. Okay, he's probably gonna come back in. I was kind of hoping we have some folks that haven't seen it. But he's gonna give an update. I think it's pretty much done. He's got one more pull request that's outstanding, and it's really just GitHub Actions to keep it current when changes occur. So really, the tutorial is done. So that was the update he gave yesterday at the marketing call. All right, he's trying to come back in.
You know,
And he's
oh,
back.
okay, good.
And you're on mute.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just switching off my video. Looks like there is some bandwidth problem at my end. I'm getting disconnected multiple times. Now it should be fine. Let me share. Yeah. So I was saying that, okay, all the items which were in the scope of the project is completed. Now it's up to the MicroProfile community to take it and assign the custom domain and release this tutorial in the tutorial site. So you see here the branding, and this is the tutorial site. And we have both light mode as well as dark mode. And this has all the chapters included with pictures and with the required formatting. This is the introductory chapter. On the left side, we have here the chapters, navigation between different chapters. On the right side, this is sections within the same page someone can navigate. And here at the bottom, we have options. So later, if we build more versions of the tutorial, we can add here more versions for MicroProfile versions if we want to have multiple tutorials for all the versions. So this can be included here. And yeah, just moving to different pages. So this is the introduction to MicroProfile section. This is first background about MicroProfile. So this is the chapter 1. So we have a preface, a front matter, then the chapter 1. Chapter 1 talks about all the context about MicroProfile and some of the concepts which will be covered later. It gives the overview of the MicroProfile. Then chapter 2 is about setting up the environment. Someone can put up the development environment and getting started with the development. So it's talk about the Java, Maven, Gradle, and all the tools which are required to build the project. Also talks about ways
I think Tarun,
We're
you
still
broke
kind of
up.
loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tarun, your audio is problematic again.
environment which are available and list map is chapter 2 about. Okay. How about now? Am I audible?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still
Somewhat audible. Last thing we heard is, "Am I audible?"
Yeah.
think we lost him.
Yeah, he dropped off again. We'll give them just a minute or two, and then if worse comes to worse, we'll kind of move on. All right. While we're waiting,
Yeah,
let's
he's back.
try. Is he back again? Yeah, he's
Mhm.
back. Okay.
Yes, sorry, it was disconnected. So now it should not get disconnected. I've switched to the different internet connection. So am I audible properly now?
Yeah,
Yes.
better, much better.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah. So let me share again. So now my screen is also sharing. So here I was covering about, so I walked through different introductory chapters. So first was the front matter, the preface, where we talk about the project, what are going to be done, what are the microservices which will be developing an overview architecture. Then we have a getting started section, which gives the context about how to set up the environment for development and building the tools. Yeah, so prior to that, there was an introduction to MicroProfile section, which talks about what is MicroProfile all about. Then there is a third chapter, is the second, this is the third chapter, which is about the core profile, Jakarta E core profile. And the sample code for this, from here, from chapter 2 onwards, there are sample code which people can try out. So in chapter 2, we built a very basic RESTful web service. So this I demonstrated it a few weeks back, the sample code for this. And then in Jakarta E core profile, we built a database backed RESTful web service. And we also covered concepts like interceptor, and this is all set up for building more features. So we covered about JSON binding and all in this chapter. And then further from chapter 3 onwards, so we got all the microservice with layered architecture, where we had the repository, we have the service class, we have the resource class and the entity class, all separated. And then we applied the open API documentation so that the API documentation also appears. So this was also demonstrated in a demo previously in this call. So here, this is all the chapter content. So we have screenshots, how the Swagger or Open API documentation will look alike, all the important annotations. And then the next chapter was on the configuration.
Sorry to
And
interrupt you, Taran. So
yes,
John, do you have a lot? Do you have any other kind of a lot of other things to discuss? How much
Yeah,
time do you want to give to Taran?
Well, I was hoping to
don't
kind of
think.
finish it up by about 25 after the hour. So 15 to 20 minutes, we normally start about 4 or 5 after. So we're kind of bumping up near the top. Did you maybe just want to give an example of how to run the code?
Yeah,
sure,
I think that's better.
absolutely, absolutely. So I have here, I'm just reloading my code so that I can show you. So yeah, the code could be run. There is a code directory within the MicroProfile repository. And within the code directory, there are all the chapters. So I've opened the GitHub code spaces and I have also synced the repository. So just it's loading, then I'll demonstrate how to do. There are README files for all the chapters. So yeah, it's coming up in few seconds. The ID should be ready. Yes, so as I was covering about configuration, last time I demonstrated up to Open API documentation. So now I will demonstrate the code for chapter 5, which is configuration, MicroProfile configuration. So here you see this will be the folder structure. So we have code folder, and within the code folder, all the sample codes. So for each of the chapter, the reader can go inside, and then I have a terminal open here. Hope this font size is fine. I've increased it. So now I have to go to code folder, as I said, then there is a chapter folder. So chapter 5. And then within this, we have microservices. So here catalog and payment microservice there. So reader can go and run these microservices individually. And there is a script also to run both of them together as well in one command. But I will demonstrate here step by step. So here, this is my catalog microservice. So we have the source folder. So I'll run this and just for first, I'll ensure that no other service is running. So I will stop any existing server if it is there. But yeah, now I am ready to start this. So there is a sample code demonstrated using Open Liberty. The code definitely will work with all their providers. And now I have started this particular microservice, so it's running. And this will be available now in the server. So here I have demonstrated a catalog service, which is available in this particular endpoint. So I'm calling get all products. So there are some products which are already available in this microservice. So this response returns the JSON of all the list of products. Now we can see here there is a configuration. So I'm covering the chapter about MicroProfile configuration. So there is a maintenance mode equal to false. So this is, we can change it to true. And this particular file, which is within the resources, MicroProfile configuration will set the maintenance mode to true. So now if I refresh, since the maintenance mode has been changed, so it should show that the service is under maintenance. So here in the README file, all the instructions are there to test different configuration options. So here in the README file, let me preview it as a formatted document. So here, as you can see, this README file will cover all the concepts, which is covered in the chapter. So definitely chapter content and the associated source code is there, and how to build and how to test this out is also described here. And some of the concepts which are not specific to MicroProfile, but might be required important for understanding the code is also described here. And with the README file, we get the instruction to run the code. So here, what we were covering about the maintenance mode, that is all covered here. And also it is described. There are other concepts which were related to configuration, which were also described here. Say, for example, in this particular chapter, we have various configuration provider. So example covers configuration through environment variable, configuration through system properties, configuration through custom config provider, which is RESTful service. So all that is covered, and how to run this locally. The project is structured. So this is all described. What is the environment required and step-by-step instruction to run this. Also using curl commands, as well as this can also be tested in Open API UI also. So
All right,
all this
Tarun,
is described.
sorry, I'm
Yes,
gonna have to probably cut you short here.
sure.
But really appreciate you joining late. I did download and started going through some of the chapters. I'm gonna probably try and run one or two in Quarkus. I haven't tried that yet. But we'll definitely try some of that as well.
Sure.
And I kind of recommend everyone else, if you don't have time to go through the entire tutorial, kind of, just pick up a chapter that you might be interested in. Maybe you're on one of the spec teams and just take a look at it and run the demo. I think it's worth the time.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All the chapters are independent, so any reader can begin in any chapter, and the instructions are provided, and source code is comprehensive, so that would be executed.
All right.
So yeah,
Thanks,
so that is
Tarun.
all in the tutorial. So if possible, if I get some time, I can also share some recordings of, so just to kind of help you out. Yeah, but
Yeah, let us know.
I have tested it and checked it in for all the folders. So yes, this is, I know this particular ticket we can kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, if I run into any issues or have any comments, I'll probably just do it on the tutorial repo itself
Yes,
at this
yes,
point.
absolutely, definitely.
So, thanks again, Tarun.
Tarun, sorry, John, let me go here. I have a question for Tarun. Tarun, so are you, this is the handing off of the MicroProfile tutorial, correct? There is nothing else
Yes,
that
yes,
is required for you.
right, right.
All right. Question for you. Then I imagine that the payment and everything else will go internally with the Eclipse Foundation team. And that is
Yeah.
for you to handle, correct?
Yeah, I have shared invoice to John and Emily just to kind of uh, provide their okay that this is completed. And if you can share me whom I should share, I don't have your email ID, so I could not send you this. But yeah, whom I should forward the invoice so that this payment could be handled.
John and Emily know exactly who to direct the invoice with UCC, so they will handle
Okay.
handle that part
Okay.
for you. With
Okay.
UCC, then you can handle these things. Is it possible, Tarun, that you send a message to the community forum and say, "Hey, community, the MicroProfile tutorial, informing this is done," and just because it has been a while and no one else but you can close this task, and do so via the community forum. Is that possible?
Sure. So in the community, I'll share a message that all the content is now merged, and this is ready
Completed.
to close.
And
Yeah.
your work is completed. And thanks, you can do your own works. No one can speak for
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
You should be the one informing and saying, MicroProfile
Yes.
community, this is done. And
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yes.
I like that you
I
get
have
coming
also
from Tarun.
prepared a blog post also.
yes, that
So
would be amazing.
then I have a Word document. I'll put a ticket
Create a
in
new ticket. Create a new ticket in
marketing
the marketing forum, and we
and
will upload the blog and tweet
sure.
and do all the media and highlight you and use your photo and do all these amazing things because you have
Sure.
been amazing.
Do we have this
Sure.
published to the MicroProfile IO website?
The blog, not yet. He has to submit it.
No, the actual tutorial.
No,
Not
we
yet.
don't yet. We're working with Ryan on it. Ryan's kind of bouncing around exactly how we want to integrate it in. So it's while the tutorial content is done, now it's kind of like website integration.
I mean,
And
So I can just tell you the websites were written in WordPress, and there is no good way to get externally generated HTML into WordPress. The easiest thing would be for there to be a subdomain tutorial.microprofile.io microprofile.io and have the Clips Foundation host.
Yeah, Tarun, I think that was one of your recommendation is to have a subdomain, and I think like they were
Yeah.
even looking at using GitHub Pages or something like that. I can't
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
exactly.
So we could use a subdomain that's with the DNS. The DNS is controlled by the foundation, so they would have to, if they use Cloudflare or something, they could point to that GitHub Pages thing.
Yeah.
But we should have it set up before we call it done. We should have it automatically publishing to GitHub Pages
Yeah.
under our organization, if that's not already the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, so that's already there. So this one I am demonstrating was, if you see here, this is the subdomain. This is from my local repository. I don't have the permission to configure, and I don't have access to MicroProfile.io domain also. So this is the GitHub domain and my personal repo from which I am running. And
Right.
this
So
has content.
just to speed this up, so we should get this hooked up to one of the MicroProfile IO GitHub repositories with all the wiring in there so that it's published automatically
Yeah,
into
absolutely.
the MicroProfile IO GitHub repositories before we call this done.
Yeah, so that is already a PR is raised for all the required GitHub actions. So anytime someone changes any tutorial content, this will get automatically updated.
Great.
So here, Emily can help to configure the repo and set this to configure the GitHub domain so that this can be picked up and GitHub pages can be published for MicroProfile repository as well.
Great. Yeah, let's get that all wired up and actually published before we call it finished.
Yes.
Just for completeness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Tarun, the blog, please do submit it in a new ticket so it doesn't get lost, so we can prioritize it. Right?
Yeah, this is already shared here in the marketing ticket.
Yeah, but it will get lost. The ticket is too long already. So we just want
Sure.
we just want a new ticket. Just create a
I
new
will-
ticket that says blog all about the microprofile tutorial. And like that, we can prioritize it because it needs social media, it needs graphics. It's just its own animal. Thank you, Tarun. You're amazing. Thanks.
Sure. So yeah, this is straightforward, and then I can also share this my repository, which could be used as a reference to do the same configuration in the official MicroProfile repository. So yeah, this is straightforward. I have tested it with my local repository. So yes, these two steps should be straightforward.
All right, thanks, Tarun.
Great.
And we'll see you online. Of course, you're welcome to stay and join any future calls as well.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. And I am going to take control over the screen, so if you could stop sharing. And I just got to find the right browser window. Come on. Where's Chrome? Come on, Chrome. Here it is. All right, there we go. All right, we've had Ed join, and let's see, we'll move on to the next item, which is the MicroProfile 7.1 release, which was released last week. So officially, MicroProfile 7 is out there. There's a blog post, an X post, and sorry, I can't remember where else Ryan published it. The one thing we still have to get fit, yeah, so that's the MicroProfile 7.1 post that Lukman wrote, is on the website. We have MicroProfile Open API where this page needs to be updated. So it needs to be, this needs to be updated on the left-hand side. And of course, on the right-hand side, we need to have an Open API 4.1 as well. And I think telemetry was already done.
So I raised the issue for Ryan to update the left, and also I tagged the folks working on Open API to create basically provide all the things for Ryan to do. So
Okay.
it's for telemetry 2.1, I have done provided all the info for Ryan to do. Probably Ryan hasn't got around to create the new pages. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, because one of the, I guess, problems with WordPress is there's no like staging. So all the changes he does are live. So it's not like we can pre-write these and kind of
We
have
could.
them ready to go.
We could. So there is a potential staging in WP Engine. So we could enable that.
Okay.
And you can create a clone of production to create that staging. The promotion process is tricky.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
But you can. So like if you felt that you wanted to try making the page yourself just to see if it could work, you know what I mean? And not worry about messing with the website, the production website, that is possible.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a discussion we could have in the marketing call with Ryan about obviously the more tricky it is, the less interesting it becomes. But
I mean, if it's just one page, you can just copy and paste it.
oh yeah. No, I was just talking about releases in general.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah.
having more people that feel comfortable tinkering with the website is a positive.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there is the capability to have other environments based upon prod, and people could get access to those and tinker with stuff and see if the page looks nice and then publish it. You know, if we think it's good, because if it's just one page, it's a copy paste. It's pretty easy.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's something we can talk about in the marketing call with Ryan. The last topic, if it's okay to move on, unless anyone has anything else about 7.1, is of course MicroProfile futures. So what I try to do is just kind of capture the current threads, and the obviously the biggest sticking point is the namespace, and I don't know if it's a consensus yet, but there's interest in having, okay, we move them over and let the project committers decide within Jakarta, right? So postpone the decision within MicroProfile and do a namespace change within Jakarta, right? So that was, that seems to have the most interest in terms of an approach. Emily had a thread on again that kind of ties into this, deciding the namespace after the move. Jan tried a different approach, which is are there any like -1s on moving MicroProfile to Jakarta? So instead of focusing on one potential issue, is there like an overall, -1 from an organization? And then Emily kind of tried a similar thread. I guess Jan, could you give like a quick summary of where you think what the summary of that thread is that you did? Are there any -1s on moving?
Yeah, you don't voted for Red Hat. Primeton and IBM is missing. So I would say I sent a reminder that we extend that vote so we can complete that ballot, at least with all the binding voters, that would be nice. But after the last time we discussed about that, Tommy Tribe expressed with a -1 that they are against that proposal, moving the MicroProfile working group assets into the Jakarta E working group. That's not a surprise. That was expressed before. Yeah, I would say just it would be nice if everybody can complete his vote on that. And yeah, then we can go to the next steps, but that will be another point, right?
Okay, Emily, on either of your threads, do you have any comments? Like,
Yeah,
what's the
so
status of summary?
yes, so for the kind of the overall move, move, I think a majority of them expressed like the interest +1. Let me quickly click on that one. So it's overall is Microsoft, IBM, Brampton, Payara, Fujitsu, Garden State, JAG, non-binding +1, -1, Tommy Tribe, IJAG, +0 is Westphalia, non-binding.
Why? Oh, they are.
And also after I concluded, I think Red Hat also voted -1, right? I think
Well,
Yeah.
what about
yes.
Emerson? Emerson, we haven't heard from you. What's your take on this? And I will throw you under the bus because I haven't seen you're at the committee representative.
Yeah, I think I expressed my opinion in a couple times in the meetings, but here seems not being the I mean, the things about the workspace and things like that are not relevant to me. Then the things are more about community and all things are gonna change about the working group and the ways we work, the ways we do things, and gonna be maintained or not. If the fusion of the merging with Jakarta is already decided, I don't see the point of discussing that kind of things.
Kind of agree with Emerson.
Yes.
So it does seem that we have enough votes. Well, first of all, I actually don't know what level of votes are required. I'm assuming this would kind of be the same as
It's a
a
straw
charter
poll.
update. No. In
Oh,
terms,
you mean the charter update?
right? Because I mean, I'm assuming this would be the same requirements as a charter update. Effectively, if we need a supermajority to update the charter, you would think you would need a supermajority to disband the working group.
Yeah, I think so. I think that requires supermajority.
Right. I think we have enough votes for it to pass, I think. Don't we?
We need like a 3/4 supermajority, right? So that would be
would-
need to have 8. We need 8.
Do
Is
we
it
need
11?
3/4 or
3/4.
2/3?
Supermajority is, I don't know.
I thought it's 3/4.
2/3.
Oh, 2/3.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, so
Okay,
we
2/3.
likely have 2/3.
Okay.
I mean, we should count. We should
12
count.
members? Do I have that right?
Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
We have
7,
11, I think.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, we have 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 2 are guest
What?
members, right?
Oh.
I think
hold on.
if you look at
John, you cannot include them in the steering committee list.
yeah, I think we
They would be
have.
under community.
Yeah.
I mean, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11.
11. Yeah,
11. That's
11.
what I thought.
We have
So that would mean
11.
8. we would need 8 plus ones.
Yeah, I think we need 8. Previously, I think
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I need to nail down, from a Red Hat perspective, I need to nail down the namespace issue in terms of the vote.
So,
Um,
you know, on that
or,
regard,
sorry,
it,
I mean, within Red Hat, I need to
yeah,
make
yeah,
it-
yeah. Totally understand, but just saying, the only way we would get that guaranteed would be to get agreement on the Jakarta side of the fence and what the rule would be, because that hasn't been decided, right?
Right.
What a rule? What do you mean? What a rule? What kind of rule?
Well, I mean,
Are you thinking?
the specification committee decides the namespace, right? So
That's kind of the current status is the spec committee design namespace. However, now it's kind of the previously there was a temptation to say is everything needs to be a Jakarta, and then
right.
that
So
being
let me finish
withdrawn.
let me finish the
That,
thought.
yeah.
I was
Okay.
still talking.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So it's the current. So the specification committee is the one who would approve the usage of org Eclipse MicroProfile as a specification coming out of Jakarta, right? That's their decision to bless that namespace, right? Either say yes or no. And so if you
I'm
want,
not sure.
it is. I mean, the specification committee decides these things, right? It's not a subjective thing. They have the ability to just to say yes, right? It's not decided one way or the other. I'm saying they're the ones who decide. What the decision is, we don't know. And so my point is we should probably just pursue that on the Jakarta side of the fence and come to a decision. Because if the decision is to permit usage of the org Eclipse MicroProfile namespace, then Red Hat can vote +1. And then this is definitely going to happen. It's probably going to happen either way.
Right. So is your suggestion is go back to the Jakarta spec committee to get approval to allow to use the Eclipse or MicroProfile, right?
That would be the most pragmatic thing to do.
Yeah, sounds reasonable. I think I will bring it up in the spec committee course.
What are the results of our straw poll so far?
What do you
Ed,
mean? What?
Ed, go ahead.
Ed's trying to talk. Go ahead, Ed.
I was waiting for you guys to finish.
Oh, sorry about that.
But so you gave me the floor. So, do we have a preference? What is our expectation, or what do we want to happen once MicroProfile and its component specifications are contributed? Do we expect that it's going to be a single specification, kind of like it is here in MicroProfile, with all of the component specs somehow wrapped into that, or do we expect that that each of the specifications will be its own specification under Jakarta? Have we ever talked about that?
I think it should be all kind of the
Wasn't that one of your
separate
polls?
spec. Sorry.
Didn't you have a poll for that already?
Did we?
I didn't have a I have a poll about move the repos. So basically move the repos as
Right, but
they were.
repositories is one thing, but you can have multiple
Yeah.
repositories in a specification.
You're right,
So-
not very clear, but in the past I didn't do a poll, but in the past I did look at each individual repos, how could they end up in a Jakarta, but I didn't do a poll.
Yeah.
So,
It would
I'll go on record and say, I would prefer that if it were up to me, I would lobby that each of these specifications should become a specification in its own right under Jakarta. And then we would form, committer teams around each of those. Now that I may not be in a majority, or I don't know, because I don't think we've ever I don't recall this ever being put forward.
We
That's
haven't had a like serious discussion around it. I think there's been some assumptions around that, like even when Scott Stark brought up, hey, let the committers decide. I think it was assumed a committer per
Yeah.
spec. So
Yeah.
there's some assumptions I think involved around that. So let me ask you this, Ed. What is your thinking behind that? Why that approach versus the MicroProfile approach?
Well, I'm sort of, maybe I'm stuck in the under the notion that MicroProfile would become some kind of a Jakarta profile, and
Right.
that profile would essentially specify all of these component specifications that contribute to MicroProfile, and it could pick from. I'm assuming at least it would start with all the current specifications that are part of MicroProfile, and then it could pick from whatever Jakarta specifications it wants. So
Right.
it sort of it provides a similar sort of hierarchy, depth, hierarchy depth to what Jakarta has now.
So I
But
thought,
again, that was I'm just
yeah,
spitballing.
yeah, and some more spit for the ball is, in the same spirit of what you comment, some of the specifications could theoretically go to other projects that already exist. For example, JWT could be folded into security, and REST client could be folded into the REST project.
Sure. All
Yeah.
those things can happen under restructuring.
Right. And
Yes.
I think that was one of the things it was sort of an indirect straw poll, which I do kind of think we need to redo the straw polls a little bit. I know we're kind of getting killed with polls, but
My thinking is we want the contribution thing to be as described as we could make it and as simple as possible.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
there's further work to do later, let that happen later.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I see. Sorry, everyone. I see Giannis's hand up. It's been up for a little bit. But I do want to ask a bit of a clarifying question, Ed. And maybe we don't know yet, but is the idea to do the restructuring when it moves over, right? So certain
No,
specs might
after.
get integrated
after,
after.
yeah,
Okay,
after.
that's where I wanted
Yeah.
clarification.
So
I think we all
sorry.
kind of sort of agree that restructuring could happen after.
Yeah, I cannot the fully recommend is move it as they are, and then change can happen afterwards. Because if we make a change and eventually move did not happen, we run into really awkward situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I totally agree with you, Ed and David. I think because after the move and some project may not go through a further release, maybe directly go to merge into other project. So that's why it's kind of don't do any change right now. Okay, sorry.
I hadn't finished my thoughts. I just wanted to say in terms of the polls, and Ed's comment of simplicity, I do think we should just simply have a what namespace do you want to poll? Because it looked like the first time we did it, there were 2+1s for the org Eclipse namespace, and everything else preferred not. And the subsequent polls were not quite so direct, and I think it would be great maybe before we approach the specification committee to ask for an exception to make it clear we even want one. You know what I mean? So it would be great just to simply have two choices, org Eclipse, Jakarta, which one do you want? And just make everybody vote. And I think if that gets cleared up, the rest of this is so much easier.
Okay, I think that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna sorry, and now Jan, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I suggested in the last meeting where we discussed that having clear votes on the namespace topic from the MicroProfile side as a straw poll, and that will never become a binding vote, of course, because we cannot make that final decision. But having, the idea of what the microprofilers prefer for the future namespace of these specifications when they are moved, that would be nice. Yeah, I would suggest having 2 straw polls that can be voted with a +1 or a -1 or abstaining on a specific namespace in the case the specification is moved to Jakarta.
So
Yeah,
so
you're just
sorry.
to pick one.
Yeah, you said 2 polls.
Yeah.
The first one is either org.eclipse or Jakarta, right? That's the first poll. Jan, you mentioned 2 polls. What would the second one be?
I would do a separate poll, one for the Jakarta namespace and one for the org Eclipse microprofile namespace. So then it's really clear.
Well, I think that's less clear because someone could vote
Yeah.
-1 on both. So, and then what do we do with that feedback, right? You know, just in absolute simplicity, I've not heard anybody suggest a third namespace. So, you know, let's just say, which one do you want? Real
Well,
simple.
there was one that was Jakarta.
Dot microprofile.
microprofile.
But we can pump that down later because it's either do you want Jakarta star or Eclipse microprofile star? Which one do you want? Right?
Yeah.
Star can be anything.
That's a good way. That's a good way of phrasing it. I actually like that better. Instead of being very explicit, eclipse.microprofile.star or Jakarta.star.
Right. Just those 2. Which one do you want? We'll get a very clear perspective that's not full of a lot. The vote shouldn't be filled with a lot of words. It should just be very simple.
Okay.
And then, you know, if there isn't a if there isn't a supermajority of one, then we have to do a lot of discussion. But if there is a supermajority of one, well, we don't need to pursue it anymore. It's done.
So I will kick off that poll probably tomorrow. Just 2 options. And let's see where that gets us. And we'll see if we can get everyone to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have
Great,
to understand that those results are just simply input.
Agreed.
Yeah. So with that,
Is it-
we can
Is it possible
work
to
with.
answer either?
Oh yeah, good idea. I think we should have that option.
Sorry, what? Oh, so
Either.
It's either a forced
Interesting.
choice or are you going to allow for either?
Okay, I see what
I'm
you're
just
saying.
asking.
I think people should choose a preference.
But what
Okay.
if they don't have a preference?
Order it. Put your preference. Rank choice. Put them in order. Right. Order your preference.
2 alternative forced choice. That's fine.
Yeah, rank choice. That way
yeah.
there's a clear ranking. There needs to be some ranking there, right? If you're fine with both, put them in the order that you want them, that your preferences are. Right? So some people only want one, they can put one. People who are fine with either, they can put the first one there as preferred, and their second one that they'll accept if they don't get the first one. But at least there
Or
be a clear choice.
or alternatively abstain.
Sure.
This is already getting complicated because
Right, but yeah, rank choice is how you decide from multiple candidates when you're okay with multiple candidates. That's how you do.
If we got a equal vote and
so if you only
similar
put sorry, Emily. So if you only put, cause we're at the top of the hour or past the top of the hour, if someone only puts one, it means it's that or -1 vote, or are we telling them you have to rank choice?
They select the choices they're happy with in the order they're happy with them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I
Select-
think I understand where you're coming from.
Select the options you're okay with, order them in your order of preference.
Right.
There is another point. What about maintenance? So we exclude maintenance. We say further development of these specifications because of course, if there need to be a security fix be done, even if Jakarta is decided, that should be possible to do it on the original namespace if necessary, and maintenance is required.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
kind of want to hold off on that one
And we can
because
second order of questions that we should just focus on the
yeah,
simple.
let's get this first one. It's a very valid point, right, that you brought up before, Jan, and
but
we are going to have to maintain these things. Go
yeah,
ahead, Yong-Wei.
but John, we could rephrase this is in the future releases. If the move happens in the future release in Jakarta, which namespace you want, so this will be address Jan's point. Basically, for maintenance and etc., that's already been released. It's previous released, so that's not applicable.
So going forward.
Yeah. So yeah. So John, you can Slack me with your verbiage, and then we can work
Well,
together.
yeah, we'll get a couple of ideas behind it. Okay.
Okay. Great.
Hey, thanks
you.
everyone for joining. Thanks for the good discussion. And next week is the technical call. It's also going to be the last call where Roberto and I are going to be Red Hat employees.
Really?
Yes. So we do have replacements. Need to. I don't want to bring them up here without letting them know ahead of time I was going to bring up names. So I do want to just verify a few things. But we do have some representatives that will propose. So
This is recorded, so I cannot even say, are you going to the IBM side?
There's some wording for you, John.
What was that?
There's some wording for the vote.
Oh, you put it in chat?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Let me put this in my notes. I'll take a look at that. All right. Hey, thanks everyone.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Cheers.
let's go ahead and cut it short. Thanks,
Yeah.
David, for the verbiage. I'll take a look at it.
John?
And yes.
Roberto, we will not see you then in the calls moving forward.
No, we'll still be here.
Okay.
Let's be with a different logo.
Yes. So on that
And
note,
a different hat.
exactly. So in that note, thank you to the two of you. Can you start sharing and then we can say properly, hey, you know?
No, let's not. I mean, to be honest, we're way past. Maybe it's a technical call. We could try something like that. But just right here, I'm already kind of pushing it. So
Yeah.
I know, like,
Okay.
well,
but I appreciate the I appreciate the intent.
besos to the
Yeah.
two of you.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Everyone.
Thanks, bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Right.